Welcome to Ælementz, your daily dose of quick insights to strengthen your knowledge. Today, we're talking about universal basic income, a fascinating idea that could change the way we think about work, money, and social support. What is universal basic income? Universal basic income, or UBI, is a system where everyone in a society receives a regular, guaranteed payment from the government, no matter their income or employment status. The idea is to provide enough money to cover basic needs like food, housing, and clothing, so people can live with dignity even if they lose their job or face financial struggles. For example, imagine receiving £1,000 every month, no strings attached. This is the essence of UBI. It's not a new idea. It's been discussed for centuries as a way to reduce poverty and give people freedom to focus on education, creativity, or caring for their families. What is the history of universal basic income? The concept of UBI dates back to the 16th century, when philosopher Thomas More proposed it in his book Utopia. Later, in the 18th century, American founding father Thomas Paine suggested a version of UBI to help farmers and workers displaced by industrialization. Fast forward to the 20th century, UBI gained more attention during economic downturns and technological revolutions. In the 1960s, civil rights leader Martin Luther King Jr. advocated for a guaranteed income to fight poverty in the US. In recent years, UBI has become a hot topic due to fears that automation and artificial intelligence might replace millions of jobs. Countries like Finland and Kenya have even conducted UBI experiments to test its impact, showing promising results like improved mental health and financial stability for participants. Would universal basic income make people stop working? One of the most common concerns is whether UBI would discourage people from working. However, studies from UBI trials suggest the opposite. Most people continue working even when they receive free money. For instance, in a Finnish UBI experiment, participants didn't quit their jobs but reported feeling less stressed and more motivated to find meaningful work. A real-life example is from Alaska, where residents receive annual payments from oil revenues. These payments haven't stopped Alaskans from working. Instead, they use the money to invest in education or start small businesses. UBI isn't about replacing work. It's about giving people a safety net so they can make better choices. How would universal basic income be funded? Funding UBI is a challenge, but several options have been proposed. One idea is to increase taxes on the wealthy or large corporations, especially those benefiting from automation. For example, if a tech company uses robots to replace thousands of workers, it could pay a robot tax to fund UBI. Another option is reducing spending on traditional welfare programs by replacing them with a simpler UBI system. Some advocates suggest introducing a value-added tax, VAT, on luxury goods. Critics argue it's expensive, but proponents say the economic benefits, like reduced healthcare costs and increased spending power, could offset the cost. How does universal basic income affect poverty? UBI is designed to reduce poverty by ensuring everyone has a minimum level of income, regardless of their circumstances. For instance, in Kenya, a UBI trial provided payments to rural villagers who used the money to start businesses, pay school fees, and improve their living conditions. The results showed significant reductions in poverty and better overall well-being. By removing the stigma often associated with welfare, UBI treats everyone equally and empowers them to make their own financial decisions. Imagine how a single mother could use UBI to afford childcare and take a part-time job, lifting her family out of poverty without feeling trapped by bureaucratic rules. Would UBI work in rich and poor countries alike? UBI has been tested in both developed and developing countries, with different outcomes. In wealthier nations like Finland, UBI improved mental health and reduced stress among unemployed people. while in developing countries like India, UBI experiments led to better nutrition and school attendance. However, the effectiveness of UBI depends on the local economy. In poorer countries, even a small monthly payment can make a huge difference, while in wealthier nations, UBI would need to be higher to cover basic living costs. For example, a £500 monthly UBI might be life-changing in rural Africa, but insufficient in London. This shows that UBI isn't a one-size-fits-all solution, but can be tailored to each society's needs. Interesting facts about universal basic income. Fact number 1, Silicon Valley supports UBI. Many leaders in the tech industry, including Elon Musk, Mark Zuckerberg, and Andrew Yang, advocate for UBI as a way to address the economic disruptions caused by automation and artificial intelligence. Their belief stems from the idea that as robots and algorithms replace jobs in sectors like manufacturing, transportation, and even customer service, a guaranteed income could act as a safety net for displaced workers. For example, self-driving vehicles could replace millions of truck drivers and taxi operators globally. Musk has argued that UBI would allow these workers to retrain or pursue passions like entrepreneurship, creating new opportunities in a world with fewer traditional jobs. This support highlights how UBI isn't just a theoretical concept. It's being discussed as a real solution to future challenges. Fact number 2, the world's largest UBI experiment. India's Universal Basic Income experiment, conducted in 2011, is one of the most comprehensive tests of the concept. Over 6,000 people in rural villages received small monthly payments with no restrictions on how they could spend the money. The results were remarkable. Families used the funds to improve sanitation, send their children to school, and invest in farming equipment to boost productivity. Women in particular gained more independence and decision-making power within households. One farmer, for instance, used the extra money to buy better seeds and tools, leading to higher crop yields and better financial security for his family. This experiment demonstrated how UBI could transform lives even with modest payments, especially in communities with limited resources. Fact number 3, UBI can boost local economies. One of the most significant benefits of UBI is its ability to stimulate local economies. When people receive guaranteed income, they tend to spend it on essential goods and services, supporting local businesses. A Canadian trial in the 1970s called the Mincome Project provided basic income to residents of Dauphin, Manitoba. Participants spent their payments on groceries, home repairs, and other necessities, which helped local businesses thrive. Fact number 4, UBI and mental health. Studies have shown that UBI can significantly improve mental health by reducing stress and anxiety about money. In Finland's UBI experiment, participants reported better well-being, even if they didn't find new jobs during the trial. Having a guaranteed income allows people to focus on long-term goals, like education or starting a business, without the constant fear of financial instability. For example, one Finnish participant used the payments to retrain as a software developer, a career he had always dreamed of pursuing but couldn't afford before. The mental health benefits extend beyond the individuals, positively impacting families and communities by creating a sense of stability and security. Universal basic income is more than just an idea. It's a bold vision for a fairer society. But what do you think? Could it solve problems like poverty and job loss? Or would it create new challenges? Share your thoughts in the comments. Thanks for being here. If you find this helpful, consider subscribing. More content is on the way, and I hope to see you again.